Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today for a webinar this afternoon. We'll be looking at how to create mobile-ready reports and dashboards with SAP BusinessObjects WebIntelligence. My name is Scott Zimmerman, and I'm the President and CEO of Altech Solutions. Also joining me today is Mike Allison, a Managing Consultant with Altech Solutions. On behalf of my entire organization, I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. Let's get started. Before we dive into the webinar, we have a few housekeeping items. First, today's webinar is being recorded, and a viewing link will be emailed to all attendees. Please feel free to share this with others in your organization. Next, if you do have any questions throughout the webinar, you can send them to organizers and panelists through the GoToWebinar chat interface. We will try to answer questions throughout the webinar and also have some time set aside at the conclusion of the webinar to answer any additional questions. At Altech Solutions, we help organizations successfully leverage business intelligence to make better decisions. An SAP BusinessObjects partner since 2000, we specialize in business intelligence solutions, including consulting services, education, software development, and reselling SAP BusinessObjects software. We also maintain an active BI Center of Excellence, which is responsible for providing thought leadership, delivery methodologies, best practices, and knowledge sharing throughout our organization. For more information on Altech Solutions, you can visit our website. And be sure to subscribe to our blog, where we post information about upcoming products, technical tips and tricks, and business intelligence use cases. In today's webinar, we're going to focus on turning web intelligence documents that look like this into dashboards that can be viewed and interacted with on mobile devices. SAP BusinessObjects Mobile provides end users with the capabilities to make informed decisions with instant access to personalized information. It also makes it very easy to receive alerts, investigate problem areas, and take immediate corrective action. We'll also take a look at taking BI to a new level through the incorporation of annotations, allowing you to share your insights with others in your organization. And through the SAP BusinessObjects platform, this functionality is made available on a wide range of mobile devices. So let's take a minute and talk about mobile BI requirements. To take advantage of SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI, you'll need to have either XI 3.1 Service Pack 5 or better, or BI 4. You'll also need a supported mobile device, such as a tablet, smartphone running iOS, BlackBerry OS, Windows Mobile, or Android. We'll be showing our demos today using an Apple iPad. When deploying SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI, you'll enjoy a fast return on investment, which we'll see today. You can be productive immediately and rapidly deploy useful content to your mobile users. Mobile BI also offers a low total cost of ownership. By design, you can use the same administration and development tools that you're already accustomed to, making it simple and efficient to manage. Finally, like all other functions of the SAP BusinessObjects platform, Mobile BI is also highly scalable, allowing you to start small and add more services as your needs scale. But the best part of SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI is that you can leverage your existing tool sets and skills. Rich mobile visualizations are simple to design using standard SAP BusinessObjects tools, and they're equally fast to deploy. As you'll see when we get into our demos, SAP BusinessObjects Mobile makes it easy to turn web intelligence content into a rich mobile experience. A simple bar chart becomes a rich visualization with date range filters. A basic line chart is made available on a wide range of mobile devices. Something like a crosstab table becomes a scorecard with color-coded alerts and historical data presentation. A multi-block report becomes a mobile analysis application with integrated charts for deeper analysis. And my favorite, a humble data table becomes a geographic analysis application with touch drill-down capabilities to explore additional information, all at your fingertips. So how does this all work? Let's take a closer look at these examples. We'll start with a basic example, a bar chart. The workflow to make a mobile-ready bar chart is simple. First, we create a standard WebIntelligence report with a bar chart on it. Then we save that report to the repository and assign it to the mobile category. Yes, it's really that simple. Now for a demonstration of this process in WebIntelligence, as well as the viewing experience in mobile BI, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Mike Allison, Managing Consultant with Altech Solutions. Take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Scott. As Scott said, what we're going to do here is just create a quick WebIntelligence report and change that over into a bar chart where we can view that on the iPad. So in WebIntelligence Rich Client, what we'll do is we'll start out by, just like we would create any other report, selecting a universe. So we get into the universe, we're going to be able to go select the objects, dimensions, and measures that are going to be displayed out on the report. So we'll select something along the lines of store name, as well as some sales information. Once we select all our objects that we want to put out in the report, we'll be able to run that query. And at the first time we run it, it'll put out a vertical table for us. We'll right-click on that, turn that into a bar chart, column chart, and that is ready to turn over into an actual iPad visualization, which we'll see here in a little bit. After we're done changing over to what we want to visualize on the iPad, what we can do is save out to our business objects environment and to any location that we want to, but the main thing that we're going to want to do is save it to a mobile category. This is what tells business objects that we're going to want to do that and make that available on the iPad. So we'll name our report and then select the category that we want, which will be mobile, which will be underneath our corporate categories. Once we save that out, it's going to be ready to be viewed. Now here we are on the iPad. So we'll go ahead and select the sales bar chart. This is down in the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to load this up for us, and we're going to see that same bar chart viewed on our iPad. So we can click on different series to be able to drill down to see information as far as what the sales were. And then also down at the bottom, we'll be able to slide the actual series down to a specific set of areas so that we can look at whether it be the dimensions at a smaller scale to be able to do some more comparisons. Now I'm going to send it back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Mike. The process for making a line chart mobile ready is identical to that of a bar chart. We first create a report in WebIntelligence, then save it to our mobile category. So just to kind of drive that point home, we'll go through another demo of that as well. You want to take it away, Mike?
Absolutely. So just as we did for the bar chart, we're going to create a standard web report where we select our universe, add in objects, but this time we're going to do something a little different to show a little more interactivity with the mobile BI report. So we're going to select our dimensions and our measures just like we did before. We'll bring year over as well as sales information. But then also what we're going to do down in our query filters, we're going to select a prompt so that when we're actually accessing the report on the iPad, we're going to be able to change the data that's going to be viewed. So we'll run that query, and once we get over and we see our vertical table here, what we'll do is, sorry, we'll fill in a prompt first before we get to there. So we have our table. Change it over into line chart just as we did before. We're going to right-click on that, turn it into a line chart. And then at that point, we're going to do just as we did before. We're going to save it out to our business objects repository. Doesn't matter where we save it, as long as we assign it to a mobile category so that it can be viewed on the iPad. So we'll name this. After we're done with that, we'll be able to go up to the category. Underneath corporate category, select our mobile one, hit save, and then we'll be able to move right over to be able to see that iPad view once again. So what we'll be able to do is click on the sales line prompt one that was down the bottom. We'll be able to use some interactivity just like we were before, but this time we're going to click on the top right. There's an option where we can select the values from that prompt. So since we chose in-list, we can select multiple ones like San Francisco, State College, Topeka, Kansas, a couple other areas. And once we're done with that, we can hit the done. It's going to refresh our data and bring us back the latest and greatest information based on that. And as we did with the bar chart, we can click on the series to be able to drill down and actually see the number that was for the specific year that we're looking at. Take it back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks. Yep, thanks, Mike. So that we took a look at some basic charts, and again, it's a very simple, very straightforward process to turn those into mobile-ready reports and dashboards. So next, let's take a look at creating a scorecard in SAP BusinessObjects Mobile. So scorecards include visualizations such as spark lines, line charts, column charts, trend indicators, arrows, etc. And the scorecards are defined by placing specific syntax in the block name value of a report block. So in the example here, SL_GF_sales C516 simply means to create a gradient filled spark line chart using the data from columns 5 through 16 and use sales as the title. So let's go through a demo of creating this scorecard, and we'll also show some of the annotation capabilities of mobile BI. Mike?
Thanks, Scott. So we actually already kind of started creating this report. I want to talk a little bit about setup. We're selecting our dimensions to show based on stores, the sales and the forecast for that store over a period of time. So looking at this report, it's not necessarily something you probably want to give out in this way, but what happens is the magic behind the scenes when we do change this over to the iPad to be able to look at these things different way. So as Scott was saying, there's actually the syntax which maps these different areas down to the actual fields on the table. And when you do that, and you have your things taken care of, what we can save that back out to the BusinessObjects repository as mobile, and we can view that information on the iPad as we did. So we're going to save that out to mobile, and then we'll be able to view that information on the iPad here. So switching over to the iPad view, we'll be able to click on the scorecard report that's in the bottom right-hand corner. Will take us in to be able to view this information. So as we see, we have our store information, the sales and the forecast, and based on the sales and the forecast, we generated that realization. And now with that information that actually was done in the formatting of that table, which maps the different areas to the rows and the columns, we can see that information. So also things we can do some annotation. So what we can do, if we find something that seems weird, we can circle that somewhere, something like Houston there, and say, okay, send this over to a coworker and say, why is this so low? So we can add a text thing to be able to put this information in there so that when we do send it over there, that they have all the things that they need. So we'll type in here into that text field. And then after we're done typing this in, what we can do is also blur out any information that you may not want them to see. So say they're only supposed to see their sales information, or you're sending it to a specific manager. You can hit the blur tool, and we'll blur out the sales by shrinking down this little area. There it goes. So we can click blur at that point, and so that when we send this out, they won't be able to see it. And we can actually email this right from the iPad. So what we do, we can click that email button, send it to who we need to send it to, and get them the information that they need to be able to make or to give you an answer on what questions you may have. So Scott?
Thanks, Mike. So far, we've shown the more or less static visualization capabilities of mobile BI. But oftentimes, looking at a particular data table or a chart generates more questions, and it's useful to be able to drill down into more information. So in this example, we'll create some basic charts in a WebIntelligence document. We'll then specify one of our tables as a master chart and an input control, and we'll use that to control our child charts. So again, once we do all of that, all we need to do is save our report to the repository and assign it to the mobile category. Show us how it's done, Mike.
Thanks, Scott. So what we have here is a basic report that we put together. We have a table in the top left, a pie chart in the top right, and actually a bar chart in the bottom left-hand corner. So what we're going to do is add a little more interactivity into this report. We're going to take that top left table, and we're going to make that control the pie chart as well as the bar chart down the bottom left. And to do that, it's actually fairly straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to create something called an input control and assign that to that table. And in turn, what's going to happen is when we click on anything in that table, it's going to change the data values that are being displayed in the pie chart in the top right as well as the bar chart in the bottom left. So what we're going to do here, we're going to right-click on that table, and we're going to say linking and then add element link. And it's going to take us through a couple different areas here. The first thing is, what data do we want to send through to the next area? There's only one dimension here, so we could objects, but we can also select a single object if there were multiple dimensions. Just control properties here as well, so labeling, descriptions, things along those lines. But this here is where we're assigning what elements we want to affect by clicking on that table. So we're going to choose both the column chart and the pie chart. Once we do that, we can hit finish, and actually in this Web Intelligence report, you can click around and show that information happening right here now. So click on California, as well as clicking on Texas to be able to see that information change. Of course, we're going to save this out just as we did before to business objects as well as to the mobile category, so it's picked up by the iPad. But just to spare you there, we already have it out there. Let's move on to the iPad, Scott. So here we have the iPad view. We're going to click on the linking elements report that shows up here, where we can see the information that's displayed here a little differently. So a couple different ways. You can click on that little arrow to drive it around, or click on the arrows on the left and right on the top. You can drill down to different things in the dimension just as we did before, but then we can also click on Texas. Once you click on Texas, that'll change the information to just show you things in there. So Houston, Austin, I believe the other one may be San Antonio, or no, it's Dallas. But also with the series, you can click and view those things as well. But this really adds some value to be able to drill down and see different information based on different dimension values that you may have in some table or sales information. So, Scott, you want to take it away there?
Thanks, Mike. In our final example today, we're going to look at creating rich graphic analysis from a simple data table. So we'll do this by placing points of interest on an interactive map and providing drill down capabilities to a sub-report with more detailed information. Now the interesting thing is that the only thing that we had to add to our core data to accomplish this geographic analysis is the latitude and longitude of our points of interest. And this information is readily available for download online and can also be incorporated into your business objects universe to drive this type of analysis. So as long as you have address data or zip code data for your customers, suppliers, whatever you want to analyze on a map, that can be easily incorporated into the mobile BI platform. You want to show a demo of that, Mike?
Yep. All right, so here we have the geoanalysis report that we created, where we have points of interest along with their latitude and longitude information. So what that'll do is it'll display the information based off of whatever your latitude and longitude is on that map that we'll see on the iPad here shortly. But the main thing that's going to link these two together is going to be the same type of syntax that we did for the scorecard that tells this report block that actually is a map. And then we can say, okay, well, our store name is going to be the point of interest, and it's column 1. And the latitude and longitude, they're going to be column 2 and column 3, as well as different information as far as this open document thing that we have going on. At that point, what we can do is we can tell the actual point of interest that there's more information that we can look at as far as a different report or a different line chart or bar chart to be able to show that on the map while we're doing the thing. So as I said, we're telling it it's a map here based off of the table, on the name of the table. Latitude is 2, longitude is 3. The point of interest is 1, so that'll be where it'll say Atlanta, Beverly Hills, Columbus, and those things. And then the open document is actually the last one on that list. So what we'll be able to do is go over to the iPad view and be able to drill down and look at different information and also view it some trending information for that store over a period of time. Scott, you want to change over to the iPad view? All right, so what we're going to do is click on the geoanalysis report that's up in the top left. As you see here, we have all the information here in these little blue bubbles. We can change dimensions, so we had year in there. We can change that to, say, 2011. We can zoom in to see different things, see things closer. When you actually do click on a point of interest, what it's going to do is give you that sales information for, say, let's click on Madison. And then also what we can do is we can click that little arrow, which will take us down to then show us that other report that we were referencing in that table. So we can see over the last however many months, this is how their sales were trending. We can swipe to go over to something else, and at this point we can see quantity sold. And you can add more in if you wanted to. But we can also click on another point of interest. You view the same thing. Over a period of time, how are the sales for this store? And go from there. So Scott, you want to take over there?
Thanks, Mike. So through Mike's demos today, we saw how you can use SAP BusinessObjects Mobile to easily make informed decisions from your mobile device. We also saw how information users can receive alerts, investigate problems, and take immediate action, all from anywhere in the world from their mobile device. And finally, we learned how the SAP BusinessObjects platform can provide secure access to this content across a wide range of mobile devices, providing the ability to leverage your existing BI skills and deploy a mobile BI solution immediately. Next, let's take a look at a special offer that we at Altech Solutions have put together to help you get started even more successfully and quickly with mobile BI. At Altech Solutions, we've been an SAP BusinessObjects solution provider for the past 12 years. And along the way, we've developed a lot of know-how and methodologies to help organizations make the most of their BI investment. One such methodology is our Quick Start package. Our mobile BI Quick Start Turnkey Services package, it helps you get started in days, not weeks or months, with SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI. As part of our Quick Start, we install and properly configure your mobile BI services, develop key mobile reports and dashboards for your organization, help deploy those mobile analytics to your pilot users, and best of all, we make sure we train and mentor your administrators and report developers so they can pick up where we've left off. And for a limited time, we're offering our mobile BI Quick Start package for the fixed fee of only $6,500. That not only represents a significant discount from our regular consulting rates, but provides an economical way for your organization to get started on the right track with SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI. If you are interested in the reduced rate for our Mobile BI Quick Start package, we do have a limited number of slots still available at this discounted rate. So if you do want to take advantage of it, please make sure to reach out to us as soon as possible before all those slots are spoken for on the discount. So in conclusion, I'd like to offer some potential next steps as you look at implementing SAP BusinessObjects Mobile BI for your organization. First, we'd recommend reviewing the webinar recording and again sharing it with others in your organization. You should receive the link for that within the next few days. Second, you can review our Mobile BI Quick Start package on our website to learn more about how we can help you get started on the right track with mobile BI. Finally, you can find tons more information on mobile BI, as well as all things business intelligence, on our blog at altechsolutions.com/blog. At this time, I'd like to open it up to questions. Again, you can use the GoToWebinar chat functionality to send any questions, and make sure you send it to organizers and panelists only. I'll pause for a few seconds here to gather some questions, and then we can surely address those. Okay, we did get some questions in. First question is, from a licensing standpoint, what does mobile BI require? And it's an excellent question. So it really varies depending on the licensing model that you have with SAP. On the Edge platform, it's included. So anyone using Edge, you already have access to this. It just means we need to install, deploy, and further configure that application. On the enterprise side, depending on how you have business objects licensed, you might need an additional license. And one of the services that we provide as a value-added reseller with SAP is we look at your current licensing and licensing model, looking how you're using that software, and help structure what's best for your organization. So if you do have any questions on your licensing or what you might need to leverage with mobile BI, be sure to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help with that. The next question is, how does security work? And again, when you use the mobile BI app, you're logging into SAP Business Objects. We didn't show that on this demo, but when you log in there, you set up a login and password. You can work with Active Directory, anything else that you have set up with your SAP Business Objects deployment. And the best part of that is any security that is applied at the universe level, or security that you have to restrict reports or data, row level restrictions, all of that is applied just like you were accessing those reports through InfoView in the XI3 platform or Launchpad on the BI4 platform. So just the same with all things business objects. You don't have to worry about any security holes there. Everything flows through. Just got another question in. How is the iPad able to view the file? I thought Flash was not viewable on iPads. Great question. Flash is still not viewable on iPads. What actually happens is, as part of this mobile BI app, it is being translated into HTML5. So that's why we're able to see these things. They're basically being re-rendered by the mobile app and the mobile services that are installed as part of SAP Business Objects. If there's any other questions, again, you can feel free to submit those through the chat panel. Okay, looks like that's all the questions that we have for today. If you do think of any later, please feel free to contact me or Mike at the email address or phone number on your screen, and we'd be happy to help. On behalf of everyone here at Altec Solutions, I'd like to thank you for attending today. We hope you found the webinar enjoyable and beneficial as you embark upon implementing SAP Business Objects Mobile BI for your organization. Have a great day.